Let's talk a little baseball here, Bo, after a quick word from FanDuel. FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook, and right now new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if that first $5 bet wins. When you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out all the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. Just visit FanDuel.com/UCSS to join today. Never waste a hunch. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Austin Hedges Bowl is back.
Yeah, not a surprise.
Are you a fan of the deal considering it's $4 million again for a team that doesn't often spend? Is it a good allocation of resources?
I'm actually fine with it. I've been convinced. Listen, we know Austin Hedges is maybe the worst hitter in modern history of baseball. That's not an exaggeration.
It's just funny when you say it like that.
It's just true. I mean, he'll tell you.
He got 20 hits.
The guy can't hit.
52 bats.
But I've been convinced over the past year that what he means to that team is worth the $4 million they spend. It's the same 1-year, $4 million contract they gave him last year. In the end, even though the frustration is that the Guardians don't spend enough money, we'll see if they spend more this offseason. I'm not convinced they will. But in the end, that $4 million to Austin Hedges, it's not like, well, now they can't sign a big outfielder because they paid Austin Hedges $4 million. They were either going to sign a big outfielder or not. They should. They probably won't. But signing Austin Hedges is not factoring into that decision. So hopefully they'll surprise us and still spend money on a couple other players.
Juan Soto.
That's not happening. Because that's clear. He's getting $50 million a year or $40-something million a year.
Is he worth it?
Yes.
Will he help the Guardians go to the World Series?
He would give them a much better chance to go to the World Series.
They
were 3 wins away from the World Series, and Juan Soto's
give him his
top
money.
5 hitter in baseball.
Give him the money.
I'd love them to, but that's not going to happen. In fact, the Guardians would have to overpay because he had a great experience in New York, and he's gonna go stay in New York with the Yankees, stay in New York with the Mets, or go to the Dodgers.
They should have traded for Otani last year.
Well, you couldn't have traded 2 years ago. You mean?
Yeah. What was his last year?
2023.
Yeah, whatever.
Now we're into 2025 mode. So to answer your question, Mike, in the end, I'm fine with the Hedges signing because it's not really going to affect anything else they do. I'll be disappointed if it's the only free agent they sign, which is pretty much what happened last year. They did sign Ben Lively, which was actually a good signing because they paid him almost no money. But the Guardians have a lot of work to do.
Who's the last big-time free agent they ever signed?
What's big time?
Where they paid him a good contract, not
Swisher?
re-sign.
Michael Bourne, Nick Swisher.
Well, last 2 years ago, they paid Josh Bell a decent amount of money.
How much is that?
What are you, 12?
That was like $17 million.
I think it was 17 for.
The last big contract.
What was the catcher that played like
Zanino.
Mike Zanino.
Yeah.
The last big contract for multiple years that they signed was Edwin Encarnacion.
That was a good one.
That was almost.
They ended up trading him before the end of that contract.
That's almost 10 years ago. Was that 18?
That's been 10 years?
17, yeah.
2017. So,
dang.
They just
now they've re-signed some of their own players since then, but in terms of players outside of the organization, that's the last significant contract they've signed.
It's just hard because I just feel like when you watch the Guardians and regular season is great, you get to the postseason, they almost have to play perfect. They have to play perfect to win. Like they have to have overachievement when it comes to, like, think about it. The best part of our team the whole year was the bullpen, and in the playoffs they kind of got neutralized.
They 100% got neutralized. They did not pitch well. I mean, Cade Smith pitched well. Clase was pretty bad in the playoffs.
They got neutralized,
and their 2 best players, Jose Ramirez and Josh Naylor, didn't play well in the playoffs.
So
and that's the thing with baseball. It's like you just never know. It's not like other sports where your best players sometimes. Aaron Judge didn't, outside of that 1 home run against the Guardians, he was terrible in the playoffs.
That's why.
Guy's going to win the MVP.
That's why they have Soto, and that's why they got.
Tani wasn't great. Against the
Well, he was
Yankees.
hurt, to be fair to him.
Okay.
He actually had surgery for
Jose
a torn labrum.
wasn't great, but
He's
we
playing
got
with a torn labrum.
We had Big Christmas. We good.
Yeah,
Good
right.
boy.
He came. He had the most clutch hit in the whole playoffs.
It was great, but the Guardians need a legitimate right fielder and at least one legitimate starting pitcher.
So Big
I'm
Christmas ain't a legitimate.
I'm just amazed that somebody who you says the worst hitter in baseball history, you're being obviously
He's $4
sarcastic, it is going to get $4 million.
I'm not really being sarcastic. I mean, he's,
I know what you're saying though, Bull, but the
Yeah.
point is like baseball money's stupid. Like
We should have played.
he can only do one thing.
yeah.
And that's catch a baseball, which I
What
think.
did-
Well, and he
he's-
calls a nice game too, but
he's a good. He's getting
calls
paid. You
it
know,
a nice
listen,
game.
in baseball, $4 million is.
He can
I-
pitch.
well, that's the point.
What are you
It's,
talking
it's,
about?
it's a drop in the bucket here.
Didn't he pitch?
pitch.
Yeah,
Oh,
didn't he have
yeah,
some
like
games
late in
where
a game?
He went
Oh
out
yeah,
there and
sure.
pitched.
But
in a 19-0 game.
he might be a better pitcher than he is a hitter.
What does that say though? What does that
Man
say?
is old Tiny. He can do it all.
Somebody said to me yesterday, could you DH for the catcher instead of the pitcher? Let the pitcher hit when he's playing.
I mean, Boyd and Cobb and
Yeah.
Lively are, I believe, they're free agents, right?
Not Lively.
Not
Boyd
Lively.
and Cobb are free agents.
But-
yeah.
That says a lot when those are your best pitchers and you got them like 2 seconds before the season was over and you played them in the playoffs. So
Yeah.
you know, pitching has always been a strength of the Guardians. They need something in the rotation, or unless Tristan McKenzie becomes magically, or Logan Allen magically.
I don't know
picks
about.
it up.
I mean, with McKenzie, I wouldn't say magically. When he's been healthy before last year, he had been a pretty good pitcher. So
what does
I think it's reasonable to think he could bounce back. Logan Allen, to me, is not as good a player. So
McKenzie still ain't
Yeah.
gonna get surgery. So like, what does another year do?
I don't know.
He's between
I
a rock and a hard place. I think he needed surgery, and he didn't get it right before he got that bag.
And he would have got his arm would have came back stronger from the surgery, right?
Sure, but there have been guys that haven't had surgery and have had and have healed, and have still had success. But the list is pretty short.
Okay.
So it's possible. I mean, it was a decision he made. If there was no chance he was going to get better without surgery, I'm sure he wouldn't have done that.
Is Bazana going to start the year with
I doubt
big
it.
leagues?
I doubt it.
Is Big Christmas
mean-
gonna start the year with the big league?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
So why do we doubt it?
Because most guys don't start in the majors the year after they're drafted. I mean, it's very rare. That's not. I wouldn't even kill the Guardians for that. But I think if he plays well, I think he's got a chance to start the season in the majors. I think there's a chance if he's great in spring training and he's killing it. And certainly, I think he has a chance to be in the big leagues at some point next year. But if you ask me now, is he going to be there when the season starts? I'd say the odds are probably no. But honestly, even if he was drafted by the Yankees, I don't think he'd be starting this year. Like, no matter who he was drafted by, it's just not the way baseball works in general.
Where did that pitcher go? Wasn't it the pitcher went second
The
or
pitcher
third?
for the Pirates was
Chase Burns.
Yeah.
Pirates
What
pitcher be
team
playing-
did he go to? Who drafted?
Didn't the Reds draft Chase Burns?
I don't even know. Where
I
did
don't
you come up with him?
He was the Wake Forest pitcher that
Yeah.
he was the first pitcher off the board.
Right.
Yeah, but he's not Paul Skeens.
No.
So even Skeens, right? Skeens was the best pitching prospect to get drafted since Steven Strasburg. And Skeens got drafted in 23 and made his major league debut in like May or June of this year. I don't remember exactly when it was. I think I want to say it was late May, early June. And he was a way better prospect than Travis Bazana. So like Paul Skeens is one of the best pitching prospects ever.
Well,
So,
he was
he's-
a no doubter first overall pick.
Right, and even he was not in the big leagues in April.
Well, we know. We know the Guardians. I mean, we be having dudes that be in the minors for 45 years.
Listen, I get it. They are.
Manzardo might not even start up here.
No, Manzardo's
He
fine.
better.
He will.
We was waiting for it last year.
Yeah, no, but this year
he had played the year before. We're like, yo, this guy is ready.
But
he's been in the minors. He's
I
hitting
just
the cover
wanna-
of the rock.
The only reason he wasn't in the majors to start last season is because they honestly felt like, and I disagree, but they felt like they didn't have a place for him to play every day. That's not going to be the case next year, especially with David Fry going to miss a minimum of a month and maybe as many as 3 months to start the season.
Next year is a success if I can see Espino,
He's
Valera.
hurt. Espino's out of here.
Listen,
Guy's been hurt for 3 years.
I just need to see it.
Valera,
one time. Valera.
That's the name of like.
I don't want to see those guys.
Isn't that a gas
want-
station?
I want to see him in
Sponsor the
major
Alamo
action.
Bowl?
I'm tired of hearing stories about these
I want to
people.
trade those guys.
DeLauder, like I want to see
I don't
him.
care about any of those guys. I want to trade them and get major league players. Let's go. Enough with the prospects.
So you're saying they're not major league players?
No, I don't know, but they might be. But I want proven major league players. That's what they need, not another hope and a prayer with a minor leaguer. Start with Manzardo. He needs to play first base. Josh Naylor's got to be a DH. If you don't like it, then trade his ass out of town. I don't care. Let's go. I mean, Naylor's terrible at first base.
He made a couple nice digs in the playoffs.
He'll make a play here and there, but overall he's not very good.